All right, this is recording 609. I have a couple of recordings to make. I'm going to try to get through them this week. I'm going to see if I can get through a couple tonight. So, the first one is I wanted to point out, okay, CL Code, Red Mountain High School. Remember how I told you it's on the corner of Brown and Power, CL Code behind that. And then, also Brown Switch Road in Slidell. So again, the connections between Lake Pontchartrain and Lake Powell, the connections between the two states, okay? So this goes more to this. So Brown Switch Road in Slidell also has a Fremaux Road, Fremaux Road, okay? And Red Mountain on Brown and Power Road, okay, and notice Brown and Brown and then Switch and Power, okay, so those are the same, is a junior high called Fremont. So the high school and the junior high is connected to Brown Switch Road and Fremaux Road in Slidell. So you can tell, and remember who I told you what the principal's name was in 1989 when I graduated. Okay. I mean, she even controlled who our principal was. So this tells you she was behind the building of that school. Okay. And you know what she did. She treated my schools like little MK Ultra child robot freaking experiments that she just helped herself with. So, and I've already gone all over that with you. So, anyway, that goes together. Also, the Boston Marathon bombing that she did. Okay, so the song More Than a Feeling by Boston goes to that. So feeling goes to What a Feeling Flashdance. That links the Boston Marathon massacre to 9/11. So CL Code on Boston Marathon bombing and CL Code on 9/11. And then also, okay, she assaulted me with a pencil when I was 2 months old. She also assaulted me with a wooden spoon. I'm talking about Jean Jernigan Roberts. CL Code, cell recordings. I'm not going over it again. Okay, so those who know already know that's what she did. It's already proven. I already got confirmation. But I don't need the damn confirmation because I can see her doing it to me as a baby in my brain. So anyway, okay, so you know that she assaulted and killed JonBenet Ramsey. CL Code there. So she's got a pattern or history of assault with utensils, okay, or any kind of tool, okay. Look what she did in abusing the kids in Sperry, Oklahoma. Okay, CL Code there. So it is Hermanson Occult. They are hiding here. They are your terror cell that is committing terrorism all over the world, and they surround themselves with people I cannot even tolerate. And the white peopling they have done drives me insane, but thanks be to God, people have gotten wise to it and are not helping her anymore. But she still is holding people hostage. She still has explosives. So, I mean, the situation is remaining the same until they are captured and invaded. So, anyway, writing utensil. So, a pencil is a writing utensil. So, she also used writhing utensil. So, it would be the same with the pencil or the paintbrush. You notice the pencil and the paintbrush goes together also. So that's for that one. And then, okay. I saw Palo Alto in something. I've decoded Palo Alto, California a couple of times. So anyway, there's more to this. So I'm just going to break down what this is. So It's Tipper Gore, Palo Alto, and then FOUL, and then FOWL, then Throwing, then Coconino County, then Union Bay Jeans, then UB, University of Buffalo, and then her saying, thank you, THANKYOU is what she always says. And then Palomino, then David Koresh, and then also her like doing shout outs to her people. I think I already went through this with you, but I'm doing this again. I might have already got a recording on this. Loretta Lynn is in this, and then she's referring to herself as Loretta Lynn. See all code there. See all code on Loretta Lynn, AIW 70s from when I was little. Gina's calling herself Loretta Lynn. Okay, and then Kaczynski is in it, McVeigh is in it, All Taken In, No Given is in it, Club Sandwich is in it. Okay, I already went through this. Club Nouveau Situation 9, Horse Table, Horseshoe, Horseshoe Bend, Rockin' Robin, White Power, Winnie the Pooh, also the Lux Ciphers, the number 4, Gene using as a peace sign, the T becomes a ladle, and Hugo means glass in Spanish, then Julian Lennon, then Lennox Glass, then Eurythmics, then Mathematics, then No Big Loss, and then Gene is threatening Trump again. So this one, I'm sorry, re-recording that. I already went over that one in detail with you. Okay, so then let me do this one. Okay, so, and I remember a car, and this has happened 2 or 3 times. I've seen it happen, and I've decoded it at least a couple of times and have reported it. Okay, but this one car accident, she likes to drive cars into buildings, crash cars into buildings. Okay, so see all code on my recordings regarding all of that. So there's several crimes that she's committed like that. Okay, one specific one was in 2015 in Stillwater. Okay, so a car intentionally drove into a crowd during the Oklahoma State University homecoming parade in Stillwater, Oklahoma. The incident resulted in 4 fatalities and numerous injuries. The driver, ADACIA Avery Chambers, was later charged and pled guilty to the act. The incident occurred on October 24th. So you can already tell right there, 10/6, 2015, along the parade route, okay, near the university's football stadium. A sedan driven by Chambers struck an unoccupied police motorcycle before hitting the crowd. Witnesses reported that people were thrown into the air by the impact. The annual parade attracts large crowds, and the incident caused widespread panic and chaos. Okay, Jean Roberts and her Charles Manson occult committed this crime. With everything that I've given you so far, it's very easy to see that she committed this crime. Okay, so the driver is either ice raped or the driver is involved with her. Okay, so then okay, this is a big one. Okay, so all the music in my life, all my favorite songs in my life, and even the songs that I hate, she has written ciphers inside them, okay? And so I've decoded a lot of music, okay? Some of the songs she planned to release controlling the music industry, not only controlling the producers and the songwriters, using AI on them, and then doing whatever other mechanisms she was or wasn't doing to them, to their face, okay? But she would even plan the release of songs so they would happen at the same time of crimes that she was committing, okay? So anyway, it's designed for me to go back in time and look back in time throughout my entire life, and then go back before I was alive and go through this Alice in Wonderland rabbit hole, okay, and decode everything, and then she steals it, and then she spreads lies about me, and then she tricks people into spreading lies about me, and then she hides under the American Indian movement, she hides underneath everyone, and then she gets away with it because she's Betsy Rossek, so she's your calendar girl. She's the woman you never wanted. But she doesn't care. She's here and she owns the country. I mean, that's all she ever freaking says. So anyway, she's a psychopath. So I am trying to talk here. Jean Roberts is a psychopath. Her Charles Manson occult, they're psychopaths, but I know you know that. So anyway, one of my favorite groups was, when I was young, when I was like 6th grade, when they came out, 6th or 7th grade, Missing Persons. Okay, so their music is very significant. Okay, all of their songs mean something. I mean, I've gone through and decoded their songs, and I've even had hip hop come on in artificial intelligence, mental telepathy in my brain, and flip the songs and turn them around for me. So I know and am assured that Jean will never get away with any of this. I mean, people are furiously angry with what she's done. Okay. So anyway, I noticed that Jessica McClure her initials were JM. So JM and then Jam. And CL code, peanut butter and jelly, AIW 70s, CL code, and then PB lead, and then all CL code on everything. Okay. So I'm like, okay, Jam and then Jam pencil. Okay. So then I'm like, that goes to Missing Persons. So I'm like, let me go see what's on Missing Persons. Let me go read about Missing Persons again. Okay, so inside Missing Persons, there's a whole bunch here. Okay, so you can tell how she has controlled this band to warp around her whole AIW mad plot. So here's everything that I see in it. And it's linked specifically to Jessica McClure. It's also linked to her wrecking Bob Dylan's bike, okay? And she knows that I know that she wrecked Bob Dylan's bike. She caused him to have a motorcycle wreck. And I think at this point, we're all aware that Jean likes to wreck people on motorcycles. But don't ask her. She's the biker's best friend. Like, she tried to tell me in mental telepathy when I lived in Oklahoma City, she tried to say she was a leader of Hell's Angels. And then there was actually a Hell's Angels on. And he said, no, the hell she's not. And then he went off telling his friends, Jean's saying she's the leader of the Hell's Angels. He was pissed. Jean Roberts. And she's messed with bikers, bike clubs too. So, I mean, here's another bike wreck that she did. So I decoded the crime. I know she wrecked his bike, and she knows that I know that. I decoded that she wrecked his bike years ago. I've been decoding crimes for 9 years now. Okay, so the other day, she did her little PR lie release to whoever she's lying to, and then she tried to tell a lie about Bob Dylan. And then she said that was her reason for wrecking his bike. And I'm like, could somebody please arrest Jean? Nobody wants to hear her usual ass freaking lie as some sort of excuse of her running around picking people off in mass casualty events or one by one. When, I mean, obvious is obvious. You know what Jean is. I mean, she's freaking insane. So anyway, okay, so All right, MCD Turn is in this, MCL, and then Roneck, Roneck. Okay, so that connects to me, AIW 70s when I lived in Globe on Easton Cottonwood when I was in grade school. And then Hang and Rope, and then Rope goes to Charles Manson. I decoded the rope. I was decoding Charles Manson murders, and I'm like, there's a rope involved. I decoded, I'm like, Gene freaking killed them. And I'm going through this whole thing, and I'm like, there's a rope, and then I go research, I'm like, holy freaking cow. I'm like on my phone, I'm like, oh my God, there's a freaking rope. She is the leader of Charles Manson. Like, it's insane. So anyway, so Hang and Rope is in this, Geiger Counter is in this, Globe is in it, Churning Butter, which is basically my only memory, but she keeps it in my brain. Churning Butter from the movie Honeysuckle Rose with Diane Cannon and Willie Nelson. CL code on Honeysuckle Rose. That goes to my childhood AIW 70s. And then the Colonel Mustard from Clue. Me and my family used to play Clue all the time in the 70s. And then she tricked my dad. This is how stupid this bitch is. And remember I told you she combines everybody's names together and it's everybody else's fault. Okay, so she's like, Colonel Mustard is a character from the board game Clue, okay? Like I told you, we used to play that when I was a kid. Okay, so she kept referring in my brain and mental telepathy when I lived in Slidell that was my stepdad's name. Like he was going by some alias of Colonel Mustard. And then I was like, what? This is before I really knew what was going on. I'm like, who the hell is talking in my brain? What the hell is going on? I'm decoding this. I'm like freaking out. And I've got people acting like dumbasses around me, like freaking attacking me. And I'm like, what the frick is going on? And then I started like figuring out more and more and more and more. She committed all these crimes and she's trying to stop me from telling on her. And the more I figure out, the more upset I get and the more she steals from me. So, I mean, it's just like, and thank God I have a website up, and thank God I'm connected to the White House. Thank God I know Trump. Thank God I know every president that's alive. And thank God I have the connections that I do now, and the whole world knows what's going on now. So anyway, so she kept in my brain, she kept referring to my dad as Colonel Mustard. So she was referring to my stepdad, and then she would refer to my dad as Colonel Mustard. Right now, I'm like on my phone making a recording. Let me tell you what's going on. I'm on my phone making a recording. I'm trying to make reports against Jean Jernigan Roberts. Now, either she's using artificial intelligence on my roommates or she's having them do this. Okay? So, if they're doing this, they're on their own. I'm going to ignore it. Okay? I'm going after the leader. Okay? They're either being forced to do it or they don't know that what they're doing is contributing to terrorism and trafficking that Jean is committing. So they've got to figure that out on their own to stop. So that's not even my business, not my concern. But let me tell you what's going on. So she's got one of my roommates going to get in the shower. So let me tell you about the shower. Oh, I already made a recording. I already told you about that. How she put freaking the freaking cameras in the freaking shower in Slidell, and then she was like invited her VA friend over, and then I found out she's like trafficking people in the freaking bathroom, and then she's like trying to blame my dad for it, and then my dad is like signaling, no, that's the mob or the mafia. Like I'm getting signals from like the military because Gina's lying to him, and he's like, I'm like, I don't know what the hell to do. Like, how do you communicate non-verbally? What the fuck is going on? Well, okay, so that's what she's doing right now. So she's having them like commit this act, and then they go and tell their little lies, and then it's the same old damn lie as usual. Gina's fabulous. It's everybody else's fault. She didn't do fucking shit when that's all she's been doing for 60 freaking years is trafficking and terrorism. So anyway, I'm going to continue on. So Roanoke, Virginia is in this. Tambourine Man is in this. And then this was on 11/13. Now, my birthday is 11/13/1971. And then this was on 11/13/1963. So do the math. You know to do the math. Everything minus 76, 71, or 37. Okay, and then also in 1980, the band was a trio consisting of Bosio. Also, people wanted to add, she's using the Happy Days theme there, Tom Bosley. Bosio, and then also Bozo, and Cuccurullo, augmented by session musicians. The group made its first record, a 4-song EP entitled Missing Persons, in Zappa's brand. And you know, she took Frank Zappa's life, and I believe that he's held hostage. I believe that he is still alive. But I decoded his death, and I know she took his life or she's holding him hostage. And his daughters came out with the song Valley Girl, and that's exactly what these girls sound like. Okay, and I'm like, I've got to use his daughter's song against them to try to make reports to intelligence of what these dipwads sound like in my freaking brain. And they come in from out of state, and it's no better here. You just add the country to it. They just do every damn dumbass thing Gene orders them to do. It's freaking insane. So anyway, brand new utility muffin research kitchen studios. The recording was financed by Cuccurullo's father. The band toured, promoted the EP, appeared in the film Lunch Wagon 1981, and became a must-see band among the Los Angeles live music crowd. Okay, Mental Hopscotch was a #1 hit. Okay, so Mental Hopscotch, so that goes to Jessica McClure, which is probably what she was doing, was hopscotching. And then hopscotch, CL code on hopscotch, Holy Angels. When I was in 5th grade, I decoded hopscotch. Okay, so I decoded all of that. So that connects also to that. And then also the rocks are important in hopscotch. Okay, so it was a #1 record on a local radio station, KROQ. And then look, the KROQ rock, and you put the rock with the hopscotch. And the self-promoted EP sold 7,000 albums. Okay, and then also she did this. I could not freaking believe she did this. I know, what? Just when I think I'm not astounded at her freaking insanity and I'm like, oh my God. So in 1976, when I was 5 years old, when we lived in the first house in Globe, I had a little Winnie the Pooh Weeble Wobble tree house. Okay, so, and then also the picture of me where she ice raped me, and I'm in the little Winnie the Pooh dress with all the red balloons. Okay, and I decoded my dress. I decoded all the little pictures of myself when I was little. I mean, Jean thought this would be hilarious for me to look back in time and see that she trafficked and sold the freaking shit out of me. And then I find out all this other crime she committed, all wrapped around my life. So anyway, the phrase to Weeble Wobbles was Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. So that'd be Jessica McClure, when she was down in that well, okay, she was singing Winnie the Pooh, okay? She was like but she was pushed. If she was doing hopscotch, she was pushed, or they hopscotched her in there. And her latest thing is trying to blame it on black people. And I'm like, bitch, you're going to get your ass fucking handed to you. Before Trump can get his fucking shotgun in your fucking face, black people are going to fucking kill you. They did not do this. Anyway, so she knows that I decode this, and she doesn't think that I put it online where everybody knows what's going on. So then she does her pick, and then she goes and runs around and spreads lies everywhere. And then they spread it into the community and try to cause all kinds of chaos and everything everywhere. It's freaking insane. So anyway, So 1976 also is where I decoded, where I was in the encyclopedias, the nursery rhymes, and the blue swing. And then I found out at that same time, like looking back at my childhood and decoding all the Charles Manson demon ciphers, that she was also trafficking and controlling, however you guys want to put it. I just say trafficking. It is what it is. She owes you fucking money. She needs to hand you over a corporation and put herself in jail is what she needs to do. And I mean, there's not anybody she hasn't put her AI freaking self in. So, I mean, just like, she's like, I just want to be this family for a day. Let me just get inside them. I want to rob this bank today. I want to just, I want to commit. I'm just going to do what I freaking want. She's had stolen AI since the 50s. So anyway, so I'm finding out at the same time, looking back in time as I decode these ciphers, she's like stalking the hell out of Run DMC. And then later on that advances, fast forward, and then they've actually got the nursery rhyme rap that was on the Raising Hell album, Peter Piper. And then Wells, and then that would go to Wells, Chicago. So you see how Gene's like all the, let me just say, this means Chicago. Gene is just fabulous and innocent. She didn't do it. It's everybody else's fault. They didn't fucking do that shit at all. Gene Roberts, you and your Charles Manson occult did it. So anyway, she's saying like the falling down the hole is like falling down the tree trunk. Like if you think of like Winnie the Pooh or like the Keebler elves, or like how they sit inside the tree, like their little house, like she's falling down inside the tree trunk. Okay, so inside this, and remember when I decoded Jessica McClure before, and it's linked to her also doing the space shuttle disaster, so it links here again. The Space Hubble telescope is in this, and then space shuttle disaster, and then Weeble Wobble also goes to Teeter Totter, so that's later in my grade school years, when I was like in first, second, third grade, where I decoded the Teeter Totter, and that links to the future 9/11, where I landed on a rock underneath the teeter totter, and I got the wind knocked out of me, and I was on the ground, and my lungs were collapsed, and I couldn't breathe. Okay, so I decoded all of that. That links to 9/11, her planning to do 9/11, and then it also links to some future terror plot that she has against 30 Rock, which is NBC Studios, and I know NBC knows this. I told them that 4 years ago. So, I mean, I know they're very wise to all of this, so this is more links to that. So looking at Weeble Wobble with Teeter Totter, I'm seeing EO, and then I'm like Weeble Wobble, and then EO, and I'm like, there's something to that. And so then I start decoding even more. And then I see the Zodiac Killer in it. I see 2, and I see Manson in it, which Manson is a Zodiac Killer. Tex Watson is in it. Beltline Road is in it, and the Beltline Road in Dallas, Texas. And so she's referring there to the Lindbergh baby. Okay. And then Lindbergh is Limbrake. And then she's saying Rockabye Baby. And then Hopscotch again. And then Bleat Blotter, then also the ink blot test that I took in grade school. Okay, so the ink blots are in there. And then ink is in there. You know how she loves to use ink, acting like she's Mrs. U.S. Navy and she committed stolen valor. So, and then obviously that goes to pencil pen. So then ink, also ink incorporated, and then Rebel is in it. Then James Dean is in it. And then decoding his name, it's got 10-6 in it. So the very same thing could have happened to him. And then Mesa is in it. And remember, Mesa means table. It says Mesa Den. And then I put, that's Auckland, but then that could be anywhere. But then I went back and looked up at the decode, and it's got Ottoman in it. So it's referring to Auckland. So he could be there. So 30 Rock is in it. Third Rock from the Sun is in it. Teeter Totter. And then she's also saying all of this about me. Teeth her, taught her. So in 1976, where she smashed my teeth into the blue swing by walking me into the swing and smashing my teeth, that was a future sign of 9/11, and decoding, see, I'll decode on that. So she's saying teeth her, and then taught her like rope, like restrict her. And then that would also go to the snake on the back porch. on the back patio. So torture and choke her. So then also teat her like a boob. Okay, teat her and taught her like teeter and teach her. And then basically like Iron Maiden her is what she's doing. And then also tether her, and then that means follow her, stalk her. So she's talking about doing that. I mean, all this is, she's talking about doing this to me, and then that goes to tetherball in 5th grade at Holy Angels, and then I decode all that, and then that goes to the maypole, and I decoded all that. And then also tetherball breaks down into, she's using as tet offensive. So she's saying tet, T-E-T, her ball, B-A-W-L, like she's sad over Vietnam. She's angry over Vietnam. So she's going to go after me. And then ball, B-A-W-L, and then bowl, and then the marbles, and then TT is in it, which will go to the World Trade Center, and then ball and chain her, and then chain ring. She runs a chain ring and a necklace ring, and like a chain necklace ring. And then chain goes to 419, and then also in this, again, with the odds, the evens, the 2, 4, 6, 8 also here has 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 in it. It would be my 1st grade year, my 3rd grade, my 5th grade year, and then 1979, the Iran hostage crisis. And then also Tex Watson was married to a Kristen Joan Svege in 1979. And remember, my friend's name was Kirsten, and it's the same kind of spelling. Okay, and then SV would be Stolen Valor. And there was also something that went to this, but I can't remember what it is, but then also Svengali is in this. Okay, and then another thing I wanted to talk about was Mary, my ex-husband's current, or my ex-husband's ex, okay? We broke up, we split up, got divorced, and then he got with this girl named Mary. Okay. So Mary always tripped me the fuck out. I was always like, what the fuck are you up to? And I'd always be telling Ben, what the fuck is going on? Like, everything is weird. Like, everything is weird. Like, what are you guys doing? What is she doing? What is, like, nothing was adding up to me. And I'm like, what the frick is going on? And then she would talk to me and she would seem so sincere. But then she'd turn around and then she would act all wonky again. And I'd be like, and you already have the dynamic of the ex trying to be friends with the new girl, which doesn't really work. So, like, why are you even so you already have that weird done. And then I'm like, what the frick is going on? So anyway, so Mary, I was like, she knows Russell, and she knows Russell before she knew Ben. She had to have. And so then I'm like, she stalked Ben and arranged her relationship with Ben. And I told Ben this, and he's like talking to me, but he talks like in like where he can't, like he wants to just go, but he can't. It's all I get out of him. So I'm like, you know what? I'll figure this out. So anyway, I'm like, they know each other. So something's going on. Okay. So, and I still don't understand the whole dynamic. So anyway, I went on this sleuthing thing and I'm like, what is going on here? So I go look her up. I find out. Now, I'm going to keep in mind, there's a lot of fake profiles out there. Jean Roberts makes a lot of fake profiles. She's a Facebook hacker extraordinaire. Okay. But whether it's a fake profile or whether it's a real profile, it still needs to be investigated because it all links right back to Jean Roberts. So I found out that she's really not from Louisiana. She's really from California. Okay. And then her husband, who she said died, had like hundreds. It must have been like over 100 radio DJs as friends on his Facebook page. Like radio station DJs. And I was like, why does she know so many DJs? So anyway, that all needs to be investigated. So then I'm like, let me look at her name a little bit closer. So then Land dry, that would go with all land dry code. And then laundry, Jean's little excuse trying to cover everything up. Let's just blame it on everybody else and let's just let Jean get away with it. No, Jean. So, and then also Linder's Bagels. Notice bagels are round and DJ's records are round. And then Melee is in it, and then Homeland. Jean would be referring to herself as Homeland Security, which means Jean is telling Ben and whoever else that they're FBI agents, just like she tries to pull here in Tulsa. Guess what? Poof, here's your magic wand. You're an FBI agent now. No, you're not. You're being conned by a satanic occult leader who's getting turned in day after day. Okay, so Manson is in it. No Man's Land is in it. And then inside inside her name, you can see where Gina's stalking the cooks. And you can see where it looks like she's in cahoots with Russell, and it looks like they're stalking me and Ben also. And then also Sandal's in it. Jean will also be referring to herself there. And then also Hurricane Camille. So I decoded where she did Hurricane Camille. I was in total disbelief because Hurricane Camille happened a long time ago. But then the more I decoded weather manipulation events, knowing that she commits weather manipulation, and then that is a terror attack, but it looks like it's a natural disaster. Okay, so I'm like, Camille was so long ago. So anyway, this is before I figured out that she did Camille, okay? So I asked her something because I was like grilling her. So I'm like, you're not who you say you are. So I was like grilling her, and I said something to her like on the fly, like about Hurricane Camille. And she goes, what's that? Like she didn't even know what Hurricane Camille was. And she had told Ben, she told me that she grew up in, I believe, Shreveport, Louisiana. And I'm like, if you live in Louisiana, you know what Hurricane Camille is. So something's not adding up there. So then looking more now at Hurricane Camille. So Camille, that goes to Charles Manson, the cameo. Okay, and then that connects to my grade school years with my little painting with the girl with the cameo. That connects to Vicky Government, CL code Vicky Government. And then I've got another recording I'm going to make after this. I'm going to stop this one because this one's going on this one's pretty long right now.